Hello, guys, and welcome to another episode of What If Civilization Started Over. In the last episode, we saw quite a few events happening, such as another civil war in Papua New Guinea and the start of the um, daily oceanic updates. We saw the showing of the power ranking, or the alliance rankings. We saw a couple new nations join up with the Diamond Alliance, being Myanmar, Bangladesh, Myanmar and Bangladesh, and actually still on the alliances. We see these five post-Dutch Empire nations all created the Star Economic Alliance, aka the Gulf of Guinea Economic Alliance. The last thing we saw happen was the exploration of almost the rest of the world, but that will change today as we start the episode. We see the rest of North America is fully discovered. The same is said for Siberia. In Australia, we see all of these surrounding nations work together to discover as much as they can. The central part is, however, left. Over here, we see almost all of the Saharan Desert is discovered, minus these three pockets. Mostly in South America, the rest of this land here is discovered. Up in the Himalayas, we see most of the areas remaining were discovered. However, there are a couple very small pockets left undiscovered. These are like the peaks of mountains, probably. After a couple more months, maybe even years, we see the rest of the world is finally discovered. And after knowing about all that they think the world is, every last bit of it, we see the Conference of Barcelona will take place. And if you remember from my previous WICSO, I know I keep mentioning it a lot. I'm taking a lot of stuff from it, but the Conference of Barcelona divided up the entire world. That is very similar to what will be happening this episode. However, it will only be taking place between the colonizers. So only the colonizers will be getting a say in what happens. Some of the small distance colonizers, like you can say Sumatra, West or East Siberia, those nations will be included in this treaty. However, countries like Tanzania and these two nations here, or even these three, won't be. We also see four non-colonizing nations, or not really colonizing nations, but they are all four of them are top 20 powers. They will also be included. These are the Great Empire, the RPGAU, Russia, and the Lake Baikal nation. India is also going to be included. Same with Myanmar and China. Alright. And some of these nations will also have, or not have a say, but like speak for some of the smaller nations around them. So, like, maybe we don't see these nations all being included in the treaty, but maybe South Africa, or maybe the West Africans will, like, talk with their leaders and speak for what they want. Same thing over here, like, India could speak for Bangladesh. That's very unlikely, actually. Myanmar would likely speak for Bangladesh. But anyway, let's see what this treaty of the rest of the world will look like. Alright, so I have actually decided that instead of drawing out how the borders will look, we'll take a look at what the countries actually want. So starting with the Great Empire, the land that they will claim over is roughly going to be all of this land here. Greece will claim over all of this land here. Yugoslavia will only claim over this land right here. Italy is going to claim over all of this. You see, Switzerland claims over all of this land. They also claim right in here. For the Dark Team, they claim over all of this. They also claim over the entire Team colony. It's pretty much that. Catalonia will claim over all of this. And for these guys, they claim over that, which borders the rest of what the nations claim. Down here in Catalonia, they will claim over all of this. Anywhere north of that, actually. They will claim up to here. They'll claim over part of this country. And they'll claim up to where Tanzania is. They'll also claim over Madagascar. Actually, they won't. The purple team, or South Africa, will claim over this. Or not South Africa, but yeah. Over here, South China will claim over all of this. Denmark claims all of here and right in here. Catalonia will have a big claim claiming over all of that. And the Dark Team claims over all of this. Switzerland will claim over the entire part here. Up in the north here. Siberia will claim over all of this. You see South China will claim all of this. The Cyan Team will claim up to here. And West France will claim all of this. Kind of following this border. Alright. These look really bad. But I'm going to kind of fix everything. So we don't actually see any countries representing another nation down here yet. But that will kind of be shown next episode. Or not next episode, later. Also, North France will claim over all of this. The kind of important one, the Dutch team will actually be invited to this as they were once a colonizer, and they will claim over all of their previous territory. that they had lost. So the Dutch team will claim over all of that, plus they will claim over here. The Great Empire will lay claim to this. The RPGAU will claim over all of this land. They will, this is where the first represented nation is. It will also say that these guys here will take them. Lake Baikal will claim over all of this in the south, and just only this in the north. Russia will claim over this land. However, East Siberia will claim over all of this. From there to there. As for India, they will claim up to right here. They will also, or Myanmar will say Bangladesh wants all of that, and Myanmar themselves will be taking this. Alright, okay, so we see South China claiming over all of this. And lastly, for right here at least, North China will claim all of this land, as well as mainly just this part here. And really lastly, down here, we see Catalonia claims all of this, as well as yeah, as well as right there. We see West France claims over all of this. Switzerland will kind of claim over all of this. India will claim over all of this land. You see the Sumatra nation will claim over all of this. And lastly, Central China will claim over what nobody else claimed over, as they don't really want to get involved in a war, as, actually, yeah, I mean, they're still kind of weakened from their war with North China, although at this point it's kind of recovered. Now I will take all these crazy lines and come up with a order-ish. There's a lot of overlapping. So let's see how that plays out. Alright, so here we have the last treaty like this we will be doing, aka the Conference of Barcelona. Start off in North America, as we have the least issues or border disputes going on here. Right. So the Siberians get all that. South China gets all of that. And the Cyan team will be getting all of this. Now you might have noticed already that there are these lines right here, and maybe you even realize they're the same color as West France. That is because West France has a claim over these territories right here. However, as this is being hosted in the Catalonians, the Square team members, for the most part, will be getting the land. I, I don't know if there are any cases where Square Team members aren't the ones getting the land, other than where there aren't Square Team members involved, like over in here. Actually, right here. Looks like there's one. China gets the land, but South China has a claim over it. Mm, So here we see Denmark will be getting this. Similar thing. Switzerland has a claim for this, except both members are Square Team members. However, Denmark, Denmark's not even the more powerful country. We'll see Denmark had a claim over it first. Then South China will be getting this. There aren't so some of the disputes got like quote unquote settled. Um, it's just like they just got rid of the dispute itself, decided to actually go with borders. So you see this weird monstrous-ish border appearing in South America. It's a lot of, it's just like very circular-ish and very straight borders. It's all South America is. It's kind of similar in North America, not entirely. Right. Now for Gibraltar, they only will be getting that in the entire world, despite having a couple colonies. They've only got the two, yeah. So you see Portugal getting that. They do have a claim over the Team's colony. However, due to the fact that one, Team's part of the Square Team. Two, if they wanted that, they'd have to invade the Team, and that would cause a world war, and they don't want that yet. I mean, they don't want that. Uh, but so they just won't claim. They have claims over it, but they won't claim it. We don't really see any other disputes going on over here, other than the Swiss claim over that area right there, and the Dutch claim over all five of these nations. You see the Great Empire claiming over all of that line as well. Yugoslavia will have a kind of weirder border. Not saying like the entirely just straight down lines aren't weird either, but yeah, that definitely looks off to say the least. I kind of don't like that, but I mean, it's colonization. We see the Great Empire getting this. Whoops, we don't see the um, RPGAU getting fully annexed. We do see is here being drawn because it's I need to know. Oh, I need to know where the line between the two is, so I know the claims. Right. So RPGAU gets that. They get that. Right. See, this nation actually, they were one of the couple nations that got represented by another country. So they got represented by like Gaul, even though they are in the same alliance or anything. They're just kind of close. We do see a dispute going. We do see a dispute going on here. So yeah, there's a major city all the way up there. Right. So Russia has claims over this area here and all of these islands. However, all of this is going to be owned by the Siberians. It's like Siberians aren't in any alliance, I don't believe. Yeah. But Russia's in circles, and because it's hosted by the Square team, most of the time Square team's gonna get the India getting all of that. Bangladesh, get this. These nations are kind of stretched out up in here. I don't even like that either. Myanmar will be getting that. Central China gets all this. And they do have the dispute right here. I hadn't thought of these being a bit harder to see uh, before, so these ones here can just vanish. Yeah. Alright, so we see a couple of nations from here. We see a new Tibetan nation. So you see that new Tibetan nation. You see this, like, Western Central Chinese nation. And we see this other Tibetan slash Central Asian nation. I don't know. Asia's like very. We really didn't get too many new nations too often, so that kind of plays an effect like why all the nations are kind of stretched out. But I'll have a solution for that later. Over here, the dispute got solved ish, although both countries still claim over a decent part of all of this. They will both have to invade the nation. Yep. Over in Australia, we only have one dispute, which is the India West uh, West France East Australian dispute. We see Switzerland getting all of that. Catalonia will be getting this. Some Sumatra gets all of that. And lastly, Central China gets that. And the actual lastly is Catalonia will be getting all of this. And of course, all of these tiny islands that come with New Zealand. Alright, and with that, the entire world is now filled in. I'm going to do something real quick. You guys vote in the comments. Do you like it better with the dark blue map or the brighter blue map? I will leave it like this, and by the time. Oh, wait. Alright. So I'll leave it like this for the next couple episodes. I'll probably put up a poll on my channel. Maybe it's even up by the time this releases. And make sure to vote which one you prefer. Me personally, I do like the darker blue mirror. Mm, Well, that will do it for today's episode of What If Civilization Started Over. If you enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.